I can not hearing you real good. You hearing me?
I'm hearing you well.
You're kind of muffled to me.
Here, let's give us 1 second here. How about now?
Nope.
Let's see. A couple of little technical difficulties
Yeah,
here.
yeah, barely hearing you.
What about now?
Nope.
Here, yes.
See.
All right, let's give this another try.
Hey, we're in business.
All right, we're ready to rock and roll. Tonight's matchup, we've got the Portsmouth Partnership Group in white, the Sales System team in blue. Coach, quickly, give me a player or two to watch that's on your radar for this one.
You know, I'm going to go with the obvious one. Matt, DJ Horn had an unbelievable month of March. I think obviously NC State was everybody's darling team. He's going to be putting up a lot of shots. I think there are a lot of eyes going to be on DJ Horn.
No question, no question. On mine, I'm going to go ahead with the Sales System team, Riley Minix, Moorhead State. We're going to tune in here real quick for starting lineups.
You know what I think is no small aspect to this game. Unlike yesterday, guys only had 1 hour to work out together. These guys have had an opportunity for an extra practice.
No question, no question.
The 7 o'clock game tonight matches the Portsmouth Partnership, who will be the home team, against Sales Systems, the visiting team. Now time to introduce the teams. First for Sales System. A center from California, number 24, Fardas Amak.
Did you get that
Forward
name, Matt?
from UNLV, number 15, Caleb Boone. A forward from Auburn, number 14, Jalen Williams. A forward from Moorhead State, number 12, Riley Minix. A guard from Western Carolina, number 11, Vontarius Woolbright. A guard from Texas A&M, number 10, Tyrese Radford. A guard from George Washington, number 5, James Bishop IV. And a guard from Texas, number 3, Max Appas. The coaches for Sales Systems, Kenneth Harris and PJ Honore, and from the NBA, Lazarus Jones. Now time to introduce the home team, the Portsmouth Partnership. A center from West Virginia, number 25, Jesse Edwards. A forward from Rice, number 22, Max Fiedler. A forward from Bradley, number 15, Malawi Leons. A forward from Akron, number 14, Ali Ali. A guard from Illinois, number 12, Marcus Gomez. A guard from Missouri, number 10, Sean East II. A guard from South Carolina, number 14, Delon Cooper. And a guard from NC State, number 2, DJ Horn. The coaches for the partnership, Evan Key, Eric Johnson, and from the NBA, Chris Lofton. The officials for tonight's game, Teresa Stuck, Jeffrey Smith, and Agana Bazi.
As we finish up starting lineups here, Coach, going to play off what you said here before starting lineups. Like, guys have had a little bit more time to play together, another practice, a little bit more familiarity. I think that's maybe something here to watch here in the first quarter.
You know, it really is, because familiarity is all what it's all about. You know, they got to know each other's tendencies. They're going to put in some limited sets, but it's important that these guys be able to execute, know where their shots are coming from. And I think we'll see a pretty high level of play the second night.
Some familiarity with the coaches, too. Maybe a little bit better idea of what guys can play together. I know as coaches, it's always tough when you're unsure of what you really have and what pieces fit together. So something to watch here.
You know, it's always interesting to see who's the most vocal, who's talking, who's getting other people involved. Because obviously these guys have to realize that their game has to translate across several levels. Everybody wants to be in the league, but there are a lot of guys that are going to be playing overseas next year. And as we said, there are a lot of scouts and GMs from Asia and Europe here tonight.
Early turnover here.
Nice little pocket pass on the screen and roll.
As you just said, kind of something that's interesting here with it being a smaller gym and not really, you know, a super vocal crowd. You can really hear what's going on the floor, and you know you're going to see a lot of ball screens here. Even from the stands, you can kind of hear who's communicating and who's not.
And I think it's important, of course, regardless of where you're at, these guys really have to set a tone early in the game. If they don't really come out committed to executing, sharing the ball, making sure there's good movement, the ball in this kind of environment, which is kind of an all-star environment, the game can get away from you real quick.
No question. There, number 25, Jesse Edwards from West Virginia, knocking down a pair of free throws to open us up in scoring tonight. Some early good ball movement from the sales system.
Not a real good job of clock awareness, and that's just not purely the fault of the guy who had the ball, but his teammates should have let him know.
Another kind of unique adjustment for a lot of these guys, first time playing with a 24-second shot clock, and the pace you bring the ball up the floor, and you know, having that clock awareness, it's a very different game with a 24 versus a 30-second shot clock.
Yeah, but do you really think 24 seconds is going to matter, Coach?
Hey, that's a good point. That's a good point.
I mean, let's see if, you know, anytime they're making 3 to 4 passes, we know they're making an effort. Let's just see if they've got some good spacing and the ball moves and guys can create some good shots.
Big number 25, Jesse Edwards, asserting himself early.
Nice run out. Oh, I know that was a finish you wish you could have back.
Number 12 in blue, Riley Minix, an interesting prospect here. Had a huge year at Morehead State, transferring from the NAI level to being a 20-point-per-game scorer at the Division I level.
That's a 3-point field goal for Vargas Amac.
Good look from 3 there.
DJ Horn, nice little pull up.
Coach, what'd you say about DJ Horn early? What's the scout on him?
Well, the scout on him is that he's got terrific range and he's tremendous confidence. At the end of the day, that's what separates him.
Malavi Leones with a good look from 3, unable to put it in.
Oh, great run out there.
Boom. Jalen Williams, Auburn, with a sweet lefty stroke from 3.
Nice take.
Number 3, Max Abness. Had a real solid year for the Texas Longhorns.
There's DJ 2 for 2.
He's going to get him up.
Coach, I don't think that's a hard one to pick, do you?
No. Horn again.
You know what I like about Horn? Obviously, I want to give attention to other people, but his shots are all coming in the mid-range area. And we certainly know that he's capable of letting it fly from all over the floor.
Riley Minix knocking one down.
Yeah, he's got a sweet stroke.
Beautiful. Kind of feels like one of those guys when it leaves his hand, everyone in the gym thinks it's going in.
Exactly. Soft shot, terrific mechanics.
There he is again, number 2, DJ Horn.
DJ Horn.
Was that a 2 or a 3, Coach?
It's a good question.
It was a 3.
Really like what I'm seeing from the blue sales team systems. Trying to move the ball around, making some aggressive cuts towards the rim, making the defense shift, just doing the simple things that in this environment sometimes they don't seem so simple.
But why is it every time you really say something great about a team, the guy throws it in the stands?
I think that's the announcer's curse, the secondary version of the announcer's curse.
You know, I think that's played out all over, though, right?
Our first time out of the game here.
You know, whenever the foul shooter goes to the line and they announce that he's a 93% foul shooter, he bricks him.
The brick is coming. It is inevitable.
So we won't make that mistake.
That's right. That is right. Solid turnout in the crowd tonight for this first 7 o'clock game. Definitely always one of the fun parts of this event is just the local community support and the type of pride the city of Portsmouth has for this event.
Great support, terrific volunteers in the community that make this thing happen year in and year out.
Just a unique feel for it. It is a pro event, but it also is just kind of a hometown feel and very, I don't know, it's just easy to feel comfortable. We're back playing. Number 4, Taylon Cooper from South Carolina, initiating some offense, playing out of a little floppy action here. Both teams so far really trying to move the ball, getting 4 or 5 passes per possession. But once again here, the shot clock winding down. Always fun at this event too, with some of the NBA's developmental coach program, seeing some former names of basketball past pursuing coaching careers. Got Tennessee legend Chris Lofton coach as one of the assistant coaches in this game.
Another mid-range. And I think that's pretty significant in this event because, as we know, it has become, in many, many instances, it's a three-point shootout.
No question. Foul there on number 10, Sean East from Missouri, after knocking out a jumper. One of the leading scorers in the SEC this year. A diminutive guy, but a guy who gets to his spots on the floor and is a shot maker.
Yeah, this is really an interesting pace because the level of patience that these guys are displaying out there is pretty significant.
Boom, Riley Minix again.
There you go.
Elite shooter.
Three-point field goal, Riley Minix. Morehead State.
Both teams a little bit different than some of the games last night. Ball movement, ball getting to multiple sides of the floor, aggressive cuts. Guys with a good feel of what they need to show here.
Yeah, I think you're right, but I think what's going to separate these two teams is the team that brings the defensive intensity. Right now, they're playing defense, but right now there's a tremendous gap between man and ball. He should be closing that guy out right away, jumping right to the ball.
Minix again, a little bit of a heat check. Good, sticking with it. Number 25, Jesse Edwards from West Virginia. Pretty strong showing here in the first quarter. A lot of activity on both ends.
Woolbright from Western Carolina coming in. This is a real interesting young man. Did a tremendous job at Western this year. Can really get to his spot on the floor, create his own shot, and I think a lot of eyes are going to be on him.
A prolific scorer. Edwards continuing to fight for position early and make things happen around the rim.
Foul is charged to Sales Systems number 11, Montarius Woolbright. That's his first, team second.
Coach, I may be wrong on this, But they're letting these guys play. That's my observation has been the 3 games that we've seen in the early part of the PIT.
No question.
That you're not going to hear a lot of whistles. Gee whiz.
Better guard that guy.
Three-point field goal.
Riley Minix with a third 3 of the first quarter.
So, yeah.
Big time finish. Number 25, Jesse Edwards, continuing to have a very solid first quarter.
But, as we close out the first quarter, you got to believe that Riley is one guy who has really separated himself, huh?
No question. Guy who averaged 20 points a game at the Division I level, Ohio Valley Conference, NAIA transfer.
And you're doing all this without a computer in front of you.
It's a blessing. It's a blessing and a curse. A whole lot of nothing in my brain that matters in real life. But
yeah. Well, I knew a guy who would just kind of go along with it and say, "Oh yeah, I know the stats on that guy." He was 17-5. Okay, that's right.
Got a 5-point game here with 45 seconds to go in the first quarter. Playing for 1, 10 seconds here.
Let's see if they got anything up their sleeve. Oh, that was a good foul to give, right?
1 to give. Why not? Why not? Make it tough.
The partnership foul charge number 14, Ali is first.
It was an excellent time to make that foul.
He definitely did it on purpose, right?
Well, if he didn't, I'd give him credit for it anyway, right?
Good heady play there as our first quarter winds down. Got a 5-point game, 21-16. We'll take a quick break right here.
With the scores.
And we're back here to start the second quarter of this 7 p.m. game tonight at the 70th Annual Portsmouth Invitational Tournament. We are joined by Shaman Williams, former NBA player. Shaman, appreciate you joining us.
Man, thank you for having me, man. This is it's really great to be able to come in and watch, being a former participant, and watching these young men start their dreams of being NBA basketball players.
I hear you. I hear you. Any early impressions here, the first quarter of this game?
Yes, the kid Riley Minix from Morehead State, he really looks good. Good length, good size. He's taken 3 shots. He's 2 for 3. I think 2 of them being threes he's made. But the good thing about it is the shots that he takes, nobody's capable of contesting them. And a lot of times that says a lot about an individual understanding of the game. And a lot of people say, well, how do you become a great shooter? So usually when we're in the gym shooting, nobody's contesting the shot. So if you're able to get those shots, then you're probably going to make a higher percentage of it. So he stood out to me.
Basket by Jalen Williams.
I hear you. I hear you. On top of that, just with your experience as a player, you know, in this environment, what advice would you give these guys in terms of, you know, with as many decision makers as there are in the gym, you know, what are some things some wisdom you would pass on to them?
You know, I would say that they most definitely need to understand how to play this game and what's being asked of them from the coaches. Because a lot of times the coach is going to ask, you know, how receptive is this individual to, you know, what you were trying to teach or what you were trying to get done. A lot of times, you know, you come from an environment and those environments may not put you in a position that you understand how to play this game. So a lot of times you're learning how to play the NBA game in this environment. So people like to see how quickly you can adapt to the game in itself, while also showcasing what you're able to do. For me, it was a great opportunity to show people that I could play multiple positions, which I did in college, but how effective I could be as a point guard because the ball was in my hand here when I was here in Portsmouth. But Portsmouth, see, shot clock
Violation, partnership basketball.
A common theme here.
Yeah, but it allowed me to play against some guys that I had saw on television, guys I had played against when I was younger. It gave me a chance to get some redemption, I would say, on some people that probably didn't think I was as good as I was. And so I love this environment. The city of Portsmouth does an awesome job with it. You know, it's outstanding, and I think, I mean, look now, you even have, you have color with the game. So it's a great event. It's a really great event.
So, Shimon, what are aspects of this game that the international people are looking at that we're going to translate in Europe?
Well, that's a great question because the European game is totally different than the NBA game. The European game is that of a collegiate game with pros, you know, and so the floor is not as spaced as it would be in the NBA. So definite skill, like being able to shoot the basketball, IQ, to play at the highest level in Europe, you know, your IQ has to be high. You have to understand how to play a collegiate game amongst pros. So being able to shoot the basketball, spread the floor, being skilled, bigs being able to pass and screen and roll, short roll, catch and finish, or catch and create for others. There's not a lot of ball screen, isolated one side, those types of things, because the game is just it's so different. For me, leaving the NBA and then going to Europe and playing in Europe was actually a harder game to play because of the spacing on the floor. You know, the bigs can sit in the lane. They can run a 2-3 zone. They can run a 1-3-1. They can run a 1-2-2. So, you know, when I teach kids, I always say, you know, the collegiate game, you have to be effective in a box. And that's the space that you have to be able to execute in. And if you can execute in that box, then that'll allow you to be a good collegiate player, but it will also translate in Europe, because the better you are, the more they're going to try to keep you from being
Partnership ball charge to number 25, Jesse Edwards is first.
that effective on the floor. So you have to be able to do your job in a box and be able to create a shot for yourself or create a shot for others.
Smack at the line for two.
It's interesting because I believe, you know, my personal opinion is when these guys do workouts, with the exception of maybe 3 to 4 guys in the draft. You know, many aren't going to have the opportunity just to have the ball in their hand and
Of
say,
course.
hey, go do this, you know, create this and create that. So the majority of the time, you
So
probably,
what was your learning curve?
my learning curve was, this may sound a little crazy, my learning curve was probably being a little bit more selfish. You know, I played in North Carolina for Coach Smith, and so we shared the basketball, and when guys were open, you would gift them the basketball, and I got to the point where, you know, my coaches would tell me, hey, Shimon, that's a shot, you know, as opposed to maybe passing it, and, you know, just understand the professionalism that came with the NBA as much as the way the game was played. You know, I was taught, you know, by Coach Smith, and so we shared the basketball, we entered the ball into the interior, and if the ball came out, then we took the shot or played out a triple threat, and those types of things. So, you know, those things, in my opinion, are high-skilled things that, you know, that most should know how to do or should learn how to do, and those things will allow you to be effective on anybody's floor.
That's some really good insight. When you're watching these guys, you know, in general, what are some things you're like, man, for this guy, some things that I would say guys need to improve on, or like, man, in the college game, they just have no grasp for this because they're used to playing within a college system. When you watch the game now, what are some, you know, some of the nuance perhaps or skill, depending on what your perspective is, that, you know, these guys need to make that transition from being a high-level college player to a professional?
Well, I think efficiency. The one thing that I always try to reiterate to guys that I work with, or young ladies that I work with that have aspirations on being professionals, is that as a professional, the professionals make the game look easy. So when you have to take 4 and 5 dribbles to get to a spot, then, you know, you need to work on your game a little bit more. I mean, the writing's on the wall. If you are a pro amongst collegiate players, then the game should come extremely easy. Now, if you're playing against other pros, of course, it's going to be a little bit more. It's going to be a little harder. But, you know, being efficient in everything that you do. Efficiency is the most important thing, because in all actuality, a lot of the things that a lot of these guys are doing right now, you're not going to be asked to do if you get the opportunity. They're going to ask you, okay, set a screen and roll maybe, screen and pop, run the wing, get to the corner. When the ball is reversed to you, knock that shot down. If they close out on you, be able to play out a triple threat and make decisions. So a lot of things that, you know, a lot of guys work on preparing for the NBA, a lot of times isn't what's going to be asked of you. And so when you show that you can do things efficiently, then you begin to look like a pro in our eyes. Because, like you said, the game is easy. You shouldn't have to take 6 or 7 dribble amongst college players if you're a pro. You know, I should be able to get to my spot efficiently and make something happen for myself, for someone else, or be able to execute.
And that goes without saying, at the higher levels, you're not going to be able to do that. You know, if you can't get to the basket with under 3 dribbles, come over here and sit down.
No question. No question.
You know,
you earn the right to do that.
And I'm not passing out any secrets. This was told to me that in Argentina, if you're not penetrating to the basket, you're not dribbling.
Right.
Once you get into the half court.
Right.
And there is so much movement off the ball, so many screens off.
Being able to deliver the basketball in the right places at the right times, because a lot of the guys come out of environments where, you know, the coaches have the ball in your hand and you're able to, you know, dribble you know, consecutively and dribble as many times and call the ball screen out and those types of things. And so that's good, you know, that's good in itself, but because you're out there with different types of players and the game is a little different, it's being able to execute and deliver the basketball in the right places so you can get high percentage shots.
Just let me make a quick observation.
Yes, sir.
It's occurred to me just in watching this game, we got a little under 5 minutes left in the half. a great percentage of the shots have come in the mid-range, where in previous games, the last 3 games that we've seen out here, they've been letting it fly almost from Caitlin Clark range. So I think this is an interesting flip of the script for the PIT right now through the first half.
Well, it's interesting that you say that because I think, quote unquote, a lot of the NBA analytics, say either shoot threes or shoot twos. I'm not a firm believer of that.
You're showing your age.
Yeah, I mean, well, I just show, like I said, I want to take the shots that are non-contested. So most people, if that's what people are saying that you should do, shoot a 3 or shoot a layup, then they're defending the 3 and they're defending layups. So why wouldn't I get to the mid-range and take my shot? For me, mid-range shot was like a layup, so there was no need for me to put my hand on the glass, because if I got to the free throw line, then it was going to be like a layup anyway.
Nice cut, nice feed as we get back to the game.
Yeah.
So here's a somewhat rhetorical question on my part. What has happened to the forgotten art of the pull-up jump shot?
Well, I think a lot of people have paid attention to analytics as opposed to, like, and this is one thing I jokingly say, but I always say if the 15-foot shot is so bad, the free throw line jump shot so bad, then move the free throw line back to the three-point line. So when you get fouled, shoot a three-pointer if it's such a better shot. But if you watch the greatest one-on-one scorers, the Kevin Durant's, the Kawhi Leonard, the Devin Bookers, when it's time to get a bucket, where are they going to ask for that basketball? 15 foot lines. They're not going to go to the three-point line.
Okay.
They're going to go to 15 foot.
We're at Portsmouth, but I think it's okay for us to talk about the playoffs.
Yes, sir.
Okay, as we get into the playoffs, I think the percentage of mid-range shots is going to rise significantly.
Yes, sir. It's most definitely is. You're absolutely right. Because those are the shots that are least contested. And in all actuality, I think to be a great, I haven't seen many that are great three-point shooters that aren't great 15-foot shooters. It's like you start at the 15 feet and then you back out to the three-pointers. And so, but those guys will, like you said, because the game is so physical and people are paying attention to detail so much, they're going to eliminate the three-point shots, and then they're going to contest at the rim. So you're going to see guys take those 15-foot shots in the game.
Well, let me ask you this.
Yes, sir.
We're looking around right now, and we're seeing dozens and dozens of foreign guys here. Mm-hmm. And in their mind, they're going to say, I've got guys that have similar skill sets that are domestic players, not import players, which obviously makes a big difference in the international game because you're only allowed a certain amount of import players.
Yes, sir.
I think it's important that these guys understand they have to bring a similar skill set, and they just can't be like anybody else because they got 6'8", two guards that can pop it from deep.
No question. It's a lot of responsibility playing in Europe, and especially when you're American. In any league, I was blessed to play in Barcelona, and being there, there was a lot of responsibility that came along with it. Played with some great players, Marc Gasol, Juan Carlos Navarro, Gianluca Basile. Some of these guys I played against in FIBA and things like that. But, like I said, it goes back to that one word again, being efficient in everything that you do. It was really benefited me a great deal there. In understanding how to play the game and who you're playing with. A lot of times it's difficult for people to play with other great players. It's always been about them. And so, I think the greatest thing for me was playing at the University of North Carolina with other great players. And then playing in the NBA, of course, playing with great players. Being able to be effective without having the ball in your hand all the time. When the ball is swung, being able to knock a shot down, being able to, like I said, play out a triple threat. And most definitely being a point guard, when you're bringing the ball down the floor, once you pick it up, you only have two things you can do, pass it or shoot it. So for me, it was always best to play out a triple threat if I could, because I still have everything I can use. But
Following a
in
partnership
Europe,
number
man, they
two,
do a
DJ
great job
Horn.
of teaching details. You know, they have high skill level. You know, it's remarkable to see the effects that a lot of the Europeans have on the game now because, you know, at one time you know, it was about athleticism. I think it's getting back to IQ now. I think understand how to play, being selfish, being able to play within a team. You know, can you dominate a game without dominating a basketball? You know, like those are the things that I think great teams are showing. I mean, you look at the Denvers, you look at the Boston Celtics. You know,
Miami.
You look at Miami. You look at OKC. You know, that ball is moving, it's hopping, and so now everybody feels a part of the offense as opposed to just I have to wait till somebody gets me the basketball and things like that. So, you know, it's really good to see, and you know, hopefully the kids here in the States will adapt to the game and become more efficient in what they do and how they do things.
You know, we're winding down under a minute in this game, and I think by any measurement, it's 38-31. That's a low-scoring game just about anywhere. And not, you know, to devalue what's going on out here, I'm just curious, Matt and Shaman, what should we look for in the second half? Because I think they've got to ratchet up the defense. The intensity's got to change.
Well, for a lot of these guys, this is the first time they're playing together. A lot of times in this environment, when you're playing with new guys, it's difficult.
Timeout. Partnership.
When you're playing in this environment amongst pros, you don't want people to think that you're selfish. You don't. You want to make sure you take the right shots. Sometimes you're playing against a different caliber player.
But look,
I think they'll be
these
better
guys have all been on the big stage. Now,
Just
but
a
is
different
this
stage.
a different stage?
It's a different stage.
And so the stakes are a little different.
Yeah, everybody hadn't played on the same stage. You know, it is a stage for some, but you know, this stage is a little different. The game is faster. You know, coaching, calling your number. Nobody setting two double downs for you to get open. You know, so you're having to find your way in this environment, and so I think guys will become more comfortable in it. For me, when I played in being a point guard, I was able to control everything. You know, it was a little different game then, but I was able to control everything and be able to get people involved and get them the shots that they wanted and those types of things. Like we talked about earlier, the game is a little different now. It's a free-flowing game where everybody touches it and things like that, as opposed to somebody just setting people up. So I think they'll be better in the second half because they'll be a little bit more acclimated to the pace, the tempo, and the speed.
One observation I always make here is, you know, this is a great opportunity for all these guys to be seen, but these coaches who are coaching, they're coaches.
Right.
And when it gets to be the fourth quarter, they're going to have the 5 best guys who are playing the 5 best basketball out here. So that's always my favorite part. It's a close game. These coaches still want to win, and
Yes.
you know, when it's the 10 best guys who are playing playing their best the last couple minutes of the game, that's when you can really see some things.
Look, I say this all the time. I bet you I saw 50 games this year, and I'm undefeated sitting in the stands. That's my record.
Right. I mean, it's always good to be able to look on and observe. I mean, being a college coach here at Old Dominion University for the women's program, it's always great to just sit and watch and see what people are thinking and how they're doing certain things. In our heads as former players, you're sitting there wondering, what effect can people make on the game at what time? It's nice pull up.
That basket by George Washington's James Bishop.
But it's for me, I always say this: you may not be the tallest on the floor, you may not be the fastest, you may not be the most athletic, but you can always be the best basketball player on the floor if you use your mind. And you learn a lot about watching the individuals. Do they study the game and what they're, being a professional, you consume yourself with the game. And so a lot of times you'll see, last year they had a player, he was just so efficient in just the way that he thought the game, and it got him, he had such an effect on the game by just thinking the game. And so for me, a lot of times, those are the things that I like to see. I like to see kids thinking the game because that's what's going to be needed to play against those pros at the next level.
We got a little interesting late foul call here with no time left on the clock in the first half.
Systems number 3, Max Aisman.
That's one of those.
That's his first.
What were you thinking? If he makes that, he deserves it. If he makes it, he deserves it.
Number 10, Sean East from Missouri is at the line. Averaged about 17 a game in the SEC this year.
Yep.
And he needs a W, doesn't he, Matt?
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
That's a great one. That'd be the first question I ask. And it's interesting that you say that because for me, when I recruit, I always, like during games, I never look at the stat sheet. I never look at the stat sheet during the games. Because, well, first of all, Coach Smith said stat sheets are for losers. So I took that literally. But I never want the stat sheet to dictate what I'm watching. Because the players that help you win games, they never show up in the stat sheet. So I'm never looking at the stat sheet.
And the players that help you win games, doesn't always translate.
Translate to the stat sheet. And so, somebody might say, oh, well, he doesn't have any rebounds. No, he doesn't, but box out every possession. This man didn't get any
Ladies and
rebounds.
gentlemen, the lobby.
The sacrifice of sprinting the floor down the
membership.
while the ball's being pushed or running the wings real hard to open up the floor.
So when are you going to start your podcast?
You get the 110
Me and you. I mean, we could do this all night.
Yeah, we could. All three of us.
There we go. There we go. We got
Huh?
we've got it.
I mean, but no, with the Carolina mailing list, that's where the audience is, right?
I do have a podcast.
Huh?
I got a podcast called The Carolina Conversation. I did it the past 2 years under the Field of 68 Media Network with Jeff Goodman.
You still doing it?
I didn't do it this year.
Okay.
We didn't do it this year. But we may get back to it next year. But, when you love the game, you love the game. And, for some people, some things are difficult, but for others, it's not. And, being able to observe is really a great thing in itself.
I know the camera's not on right now. Are we on?
We're on. We're going to take a quick break right here at halftime. We got a 10-point game.
But I just got to point this out, that there are 3 cameras down there focused on a young gentleman named Booty Baker, who's 94 years old, who's been to every PIT.
Awesome. That is awesome.
Awesome. We'll take a quick break right here. Be back for the second half.
All right.
And we're back here to start the second half of the 7 o'clock game here on day number 2 at the 70th Annual Portsmouth Invitational Tournament. Heading in here in the second half, Coach Williams, any thoughts here for the second half?
Well, for there being much more scoring in the second half. I think that's what we talked about previously in the first half. So we're thinking we're going to get some more scoring here in the second half. Guys going to settle down and adapt a little bit more to the offense.
You'd have 15 by now.
Yeah, I must definitely be going for it.
Can you fit it on without that coming out so much?
All right, here we go. We're all situated.
There's a 3 right there.
3-point field goal for Akron Zali Ali.
Ali, the man with 2 first names.
.point game early in the second half. Coach Williams, this is a separation time.
Yes. Yes. You most definitely want to come back in the second half.
Partnership foul charge to number
Like we
15.
talked about, be operating offensively. You want everything clicking. Defensively as well. It's good for sales system to be able to get to the free throw line because Portsmouth partnership came out and got a 3 right there at the beginning of the first half. So to keep the game close, they need to get these 2 free throws being shot by
That's Wolverton.
Vontarius Woodbright, Western Carolina.
Played for Justin Gray,
Yep.
friend of ours.
Great offensive rebound. There's that man again, Riley Minix.
That basket by Riley Minix.
He gets one more. We're going to have to introduce him correctly.
Continuing to fill up the stat sheet.
Yes, he's not been introduced properly.
Okay,
He score one more time. we
picking
gotta
up a little more
introduce him.
intensity on the ball, right? Making this.
We're talking. Another 3. And I'll tell you what, too, the adjustment in playing in this game today, when I played in college, we played with leather balls. And so the feel of the ball and the weight of the ball was kind of similar. The
Is this a
kids now-
synthetic ball?
Well, it's a leather ball, but the types of basketballs that they play with now in college, the Evos, they're a lighter basketball, different texture. So getting familiar with the basketball as well. As I said, it doesn't grip to your hands.
Well, the FIBA ball is a different animal altogether, is it not?
It is.
Matt, when you conduct your workouts for
That's another
the
3.
international players, of course, you're
3-point
using the
field
international
goal,
ball.
Malachi Leah. Bradley.
I'm sorry, repeat the question.
Oh, it's already gone by.
All right.
We're into a different play.
All right, that's
So
true.
you use the international ball, the FIBA ball, with your workouts, right?
You have to in the off season. You have to. As an international guy, it's the tool of your trade. There's no reason to use anything but it.
Charge to the partnerships number 15, Malachi Leah.
Most definitely second. That's 2 threes this half by Portsmouth partnership. Dalavar Leons from Bradley.
Aubrey
Shane
Chase
second.
Williams at the line.
Some good length out here on the floor, guys. 6'9", 6'8", playing the wings.
A lot of modern fours who can put it on the ground a little bit, play out of DHO, stretch the floor and pick and pops. 3 or 4 interesting guys that play the 4 spot in this position.
No question. Need to see one thing, though.
What are we looking for?
Can they defend the position? The offense is the easy part.
Yeah, and you're looking to see the effort, okay? You're going to see, is the guy really getting after it, moving his feet, and just taking space away?
Right. Because that's what they're going to be asked to do first. Defend the position. Missed shot right there by Atlas.
Nice mid-range pull-up again.
A basket by Sean East.
Sean East, Missouri. Charlton Young, Dennis Gates is the head coach at Missouri. They actually have one of my kids there, Jordan Butler,
Oh, yeah?
freshman. The highest rated recruit that Missouri has had under Dennis Gates. Sean East again. Doing what he does, putting a lot of pressure on
Now,
the
Coach, he
defense.
came across the half-court line, and the defender was a good 15, 17 feet away from him.
Sales systems number
And
3.
he was able to really
Second.
come across with tremendous energy and momentum and do what he did and got to the basket.
He did.
What would you be saying on the defensive end?
From
I would
Missouri.
have been saying what was the defense in the gap. Now, of course, you have to guard. Now, you can't get beat in direct line. But let's close this floor down a little bit more. Don't give him so many driving lanes. I mean, he drove and spun and then got to the basket. And they had 5 out, so wow. 5 people's feet on the college three-point line. You know, just stop the spacing for him to be able to drive. He had the ball from the time they threw it in to get to the basket.
Right.
So you have to defend the position. Oh.
Oh,
He's back at it.
You don't score 17 a game in the SEC on accident, that's for sure.
Yeah. And the truth.
Foul is charged to sales systems. Number 12. Riley Minix is second. Sean East back at the line for 2.
$15-point game right here.
you know, another aspect of being out here at the PIT is that these officials are being evaluated as well.
They are.
And they're looking to move up the food chain in basketball, whether it's into the G League or the NBA or collegiately as well.
Jalen Williams, missed jump hook right there in the lane. Cell system needs to stop right here. Nice attempt right there by Edwards. Nice footwork, went over top of the defender. Just couldn't finish it. He's shown some good length, ability to score. That's a drive.
That basket by James Bishop.
James Bishop.
George Washington.
Nice little
Nice pull up.
Next, Marcus Gomez out of
pull-up
Illinois.
floater.
Yep. That's
You
interesting.
want that water?
Domas is really intriguing. Did a lot of things for that Illinois team. Let's see, can he knock this three down? A little short right there. Boy, Cell System is really, really pouring on this thing.
His foot was on the line, but boy, he was squared up, ready to knock it down.
Cooper.
Talon Cooper right there from Spartanburg, South Carolina, went to Dorman High School, went to
How
Morehead
about
State,
sales systems?
and then transferred and played a year down at the University of South Carolina, one of South Carolina's finest.
That's your neck of the woods.
It is. From the great state of South Carolina. It's good to see him.
Got a quick timeout here. 18-point game. Halfway through the third quarter. always think it's interesting in these situations, you know, with so many eyes on these players. When you get down big like this, are you going to continue to compete, or do you kind of put it in coast mode? Is this going to, you know, are we going to cut it back down to 10, or is this going to turn into a blowout? And, you know, what's the body language like? What's the effort like?
Well, one of the efforts is that unless they can, you know, pretty shortly get into that league, you're going to see a lot of guys just going out there and showing what they think they need to show, which may or may not be the right thing to do. You know, it really depends. You know, are you playing under control and you getting up the right shots?
That's right. I have a question for you guys. Who's the best player that you've seen thus far?
Coach and I were talking about that, and number 15 in the previous game from, I think, Eastern Washington, whose name really escapes me, had tremendous hands around the basket. He may not be the best guy, but he was certainly the most exciting guy who could just finish.
I'm going to go ahead with Joel Soriano from St. John's. He's had a strong showing in last night's game. I believe he had about 28 and 12, and then had another strong showing today. Big body, soft hands, fights for position on the floor, and has finished well.
Okay. It's good
That
to
basket
get a
by
timeout.
Tyrese Radford.
Tyrese Radford from Texas A&M.
So, you know, Coach, from your experience, whether it was, regardless of what level you were at, if you're coaching and playing and the game is, you know, looks like it's getting away, but then you're going, hey, if we can get it under 10, you know, we can come back. And suddenly, you know, they've scored 2 baskets in a row, and let's see if they can tighten up the defense and create another turnover.
Yep. Well, they've done a good job of concentrating a little bit on Sean East as he tried to dominate the basketball. Made him turn the basketball over. Twice they've been able to score it. So the game plan has changed a little bit, but like you said before, they're able to score. So
Media timeout.
We got a
get
quick
it to 10.
we got a quick media timeout here. We'll take a quick break.
Awesome.
And we return back to action here. Little sideline out of bound action.
DJ Horn has entered the game. Guard from North Carolina State, played in the Final Four, played with my guy DJ Burns. Another South Carolina great. Good pass. Talon Cooper with the miss. Kick back out, DJ Horn with the touch up. 3-pointer, rim time to the Final Four
3-point
participant.
field goal, DJ Horn.
That hurts a little bit. Had some stops.
You know, one of the questions that I rhetorically ask friends when I go to games all year, and we just saw illegal screen violation right there. What the heck constitutes an illegal screen these days? Can anybody answer that?
Depends what side of bed the referees woke up on that
I
day.
got you.
Flip a coin.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, it's really been an arbitrary call.
yeah, as long as the guy's not leaning,
But
feet are set.
Isn't that it used to be you had to have your feet set, you had to be a half a step in
Right.
front of the guy. Now, when the defender comes across, so many times we're seeing the screener step into him.
Right. You just be still.
Okay.
The best guards. Good hustle right there by Tyrese Radford. All right, looking at the mismatch. Good defense. Oh, push. Call push on Marcus Domask.
always find it interesting in these situations. The ball does go down on the block. Do you see 4 guys standing around, or is there some sort of split action, that type of thing? And you start to get a feel for how these guys have been coached, their understanding of the game, those type of things.
That's the biggest key right there. That's a great point right there. I'm a true believer in that. Wherever you're being coached, hopefully they're giving you transferable skills on and off the floor. Like you said, standing around. Basketball aptitude. Physical right there by Edwards. Drive from the top of the key.
Coach, with your experience coaching the NCAA right now, with some of the changes they've made on the block charge call this year, what were your observations of how that may have impacted the college game this year?
Well, I think it makes people challenge more shots as opposed to putting themselves in position to, to take charges. A lot of times, when you put yourself in a position to take a charge, people will make mistakes. They may kick the basketball back out and try to get it back on the perimeter, which will create a turnover or something like that. But now that they know that they're not calling the charge as much as they were previously, they're just challenging around, looking to get fouled or go to the free throw line. And it's not, it's the game of basketball because those are the rules, but it's not allowing you to be intellectual. It's not teaching people to stop with 2 feet and then kick the basketball out, or stop with 2 feet and take a pull-up or something like that. It's more athleticism. Let me try to hit your shoulder so they call foul and I get rewarded. For us, we would call that a bad play. In today's game, it's like,
James Bishop out of George Washington.
It's another skill thing. Because it takes away you reading the game as well. There's Domas.
3-point field goal, Marcus Domas out of Illinois.
Very interesting prospect there. Great size, 6'6", good body, can handle the basketball. We talked about him earlier. Did a lot of great things for that Illinois team when Shannon didn't have the basketball in his hand. I think a lot of people would probably give him a look.
So, based on coaches getting a good look, seeing these guys play in this environment for 3 games, they're going to come away, talking from an NBA perspective, of a list of 4 or 5 guys they make sure they're going to want to bring in for a workout.
Right. Well, there'll be some guys, because of the NBA G League,
West Virginia, Jesse Edwards.
that are scouting as well. And sometimes, you have some franchises that will talk to the NBA team about drafting certain individuals so that they will have them in the G League. If they especially know that the person that they may take in the second round may not make the team, and put them in a position to have their rights on the G League team.
One interesting aspect of this event
James Bishop.
that I'd like to ask you about is that they're conducting interviews with these young men.
Yes, sir.
Give me an idea of what those interviews are like, and what are they looking for?
Well, they're trying to find out more about the individual. They'll ask you about your experiences in college. They'll ask you about things outside of basketball. What did you think about some of your teammates, your opponents? They'll ask you about your upbringing, and trying to find out your love for the game or lack thereof. So there's a number of questions that will be asked of these young men about them as individuals. People are doing their homework to make sure that they surround themselves with the right type of people that they can have a culture
Partnerships number 25.
and possibly give them a chance to
Jesse
make the team.
Edwards is second.
As we start to wind down the 30, or I got ahead of myself. As we start to wind down the third quarter here, we've got a 20-point game. Sales system in blue up right now.
Check on that, Matt. Sales system in blue is down.
Oh, you're correct. What a loyal partner I have here.
Great defensive play on
And,
sales system right there.
We have reached the
and
end
we'll
of the
take a
third
quick
quarter.
break right now as we head to the fourth
With
quarter.
the score,
Virginia's hottest slots are at Rivers Casino, and there's always a seat for you. Rivers is the area's only place for real Vegas-style casino gaming, with over 1,400 of today's newest and most popular slots, like Dragon Link, Ultimate Fire Link, Lightning Link, Top Dollar, and more. Plus, popular progressives like Wheel of Fortune. And when you join Rush Rewards, you'll earn real rewards every time you play. It's time to get real. Visit Rivers Casino and play today. Rivers Casino now has more live table games than ever, with even lower bet minimums. Play blackjack, baccarat, 3-card poker, and all your favorites. It's never been easier to get in on the action. Plus, new $50 3-2 blackjack in the high-limit room. The best blackjack odds in Virginia. And when you join Rush Rewards, you'll get rewarded every time you play. It's time to get real at Coastal Virginia's premier gaming, dining, and entertainment destination. Visit Rivers Casino today.
And here we are back, starting the fourth quarter.
Let's not look at the scoreboard, but Coach, what are you looking at? These kids, they're still competing, and what they're competing for is still real. It may not show up on the win-loss column, but they still got to perform, and they're being evaluated.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they cut into this lead if they can. The effort that that each individual's putting out each and every possession, because the scouts are thinking the same thing. What kind of effort is this individual going to put out when things aren't going their way? How are they going to respond? It's only basketball adversity, but let's see what they do to get back in this game.
Nice pass.
Got to finish.
Got to finish is right.
Got the basketball where you wanted it to be. You just got to complete the task.
There's your guy again, Coach.
There it is. Ladies and gentlemen,
Marcus Domas.
Marcus Domas. University
Squared
of
up.
Illinois.
Great release. Tremendous shot mechanics, huh?
Yeah, it's a foul charge. The sales
And the
system
good thing
number
about it,
15, that's
right there
the
before the
second.
end of the first half, they had him post up, and he had Abmas on him. He wasn't able to get a clean look. I don't like him in that. I like him being part of the offense, being on the perimeter, let the ball, move. And, your better players create, get in the paint, or create a mismatch and then kick out to him, and then he can finish or play out a triple threat. I think he does his best in that role. But good athleticism. Like I said, he can handle the basketball, could initiate a little offense. Oh, good move.
Big time play right there.
Yes.
By Tyrese Radford, Texas A&M.
Good change of pace.
Yep. There it- yeah, East is. East with the left hand on the
Basket by
glass.
Sean East out of Missouri.
There Tyrese Radford is again, getting to the basket, getting fouled. Unfortunately for sales system,
Starts to partnerships number 2, DJ Horn.
can't trade baskets. Now the loser of this game will play tomorrow afternoon. Is that correct?
Tyrese Radford
That's correct.
at the line.
Another good crowd on hand tonight for Thursday night.
Oh yeah.
Riley Minnick's checking back in the game.
Okay.
See if he continues his strong play.
Yeah, he needs to get hot.
So is Portsmouth is kind of a beginning or starting point for a second season for aspiring professional players. Talk about that process of what happens
Minnick's.
next with
And
these young men.
three-point field goal, Riley Minnick's.
Well, these gentlemen will start getting opportunities to work out for teams. Those teams that see them as prospects, they'll get an opportunity to go into these NBA franchises and work out. A little different than when I was coming out of school. First it was Portsmouth, and then it was Nike top 40. And in that top 40, and there is
That's
Marcus
three-pointer for
Domas.
Illinois, Marcus Domas.
Ladies and gentlemen, I picked them too, huh? I picked them. I might need to go get a Powerball ticket or something. Now those guys are intriguing. But yeah, that's what they'll do. They'll get ready.
That's a three-point field goal
Bishop,
for George Washington's James Bishop.
Bishop, great scorer in college. George Washington. Kick. $16-point game, 5:54 left in the fourth.
We'll take a quick break here.
$5:54 left, huh? Coach Jones?
Let's see what happens here.
All right.
What type of fight is left?
That's a big shot right there.
That's a three-point
DJ
field
Horn
goal,
with
NC
the
State
point
DJ
shot and
Horn.
push it back to 19. Oh. Okay, Woolridge.
That basket by Ontario's
Got
Woolbright.
fouled there a little bit. Was
Western
able to
Carolina.
finish it.
Ooh, nice cut.
Nice cut. Pass and cut. Ooh. And a foul.
Basket.
How about that? Old Buffalo action on the weak side. Nice pass from
Foul is charged to Sales Systems number 12.
And what's
Max
Buffalo?
Field.
And how's that Buffalo action?
top. Well, you have the 5-man, and then you have the wing, somebody at the 45, a guy in the corner. Then as the ball is dribbled towards you, cut back door, and then it's a 2-man game on the weak side. Actually, that offense was created by Nevin Spahia, Croatian coach that coached in Spain for many years, coached at Valencia and coached at Tau. But that's an action that he actually created and then took it to the Spurs. Spurs used it in 2007 to win the championship. I think that, if I'm correct. With Ginobili being the guy in the corner, coming off in that 2-man game with Tim dribbling and handing it off, and put a lot of pressure on the defense.
I think the Spurs scored at least a couple points playing with that crew, running that action.
Yeah. Yeah, when I went to Europe, he became my coach my second year in Valencia. We ran that action.
Was that in Italy or Croatia?
Valencia, Spain,
Okay.
in the ACB Euro Cup. He came and began coaching
Sales
us
Systems foul
there
charge
in
number
Spain,
14,
taking over for
Jalen Williams.
Fotis Costacari, who used to be assistant coach for the Utah Jazz. And then
At the line, Jesse Edwards.
the Spurs regime would come to our practices.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Pop come to our practice to watch it. And Nevin later
This was in
on
the
in his career.
preseason?
Yep, preseason. Nevin came. Nevin actually was on Pop's staff one of the following years. Then worked in Atlanta as well, but ended up going back to Europe. Hmm. 22. It was 116. It was 22. You're right, Matt.
There it is.
Basket is good.
Looking real quick here at our viewer analytics, just want to say our appreciation. We've got people from 15 countries and 38 states watching right now.
Awesome.
Ontario's Woolbright with one shot.
But other countries got states too.
What countries do you see?
Countries we're seeing represented right now: Canada, Barbados, Japan, Bolivia, Italy, Croatia, Costa Rica, Canada, Spain, Israel.
Okay. Well, those two countries I played in, Italy and Spain, for Montepaschi, Siena, and then Spain played for Barcelona and Valencia. Love Spain. Still have my house there. Ooh. Can't wait a few more weeks. I want to go to Japan. Have any of you ever been to Japan?
I have not.
I
about
actually
you, Matt?
just returned from Japan about a month ago.
Really?
Incredible experience. Beautiful country.
Man, awesome.
Incredible experience. It's everything people say it is. Easy to travel around. The people were very friendly.
Civilized place.
A
Huh?
civilized place. Not a piece of trash on the ground anywhere.
Awesome. How long did you stay?
I was there about a month.
Really?
Yep. Great experience. Was able to do some player development work, travel. Made it to about five cities. Yeah. Right now is a great time for anyone to go there right now. With inflation in the U.S., the conversion rate is crazy. I had some unreal meals for a very low price.
Really? That's awesome. I am you.
Portsmouth partnership
I love to
results
do
in a
that.
technical foul.
Oh, I see one of my teammates from the Seattle
Max
Supersonics.
Smith to shoot
He's
the
actually
technical.
the GM of the Spurs G League team. Brent Bones Berry.
All right.
Yeah, I see him over in the crowd. Great guy. Okay. Oh. 21-point game. Oh,
That's a
that
three-point
must.
field goal for Max Smith out of Texas.
Amos, great scorer. Great scorer. Oral Roberts got them to the tournament. Transferred to Texas.
Partnership foul charge number 25.
Did a great
Jesse
job of
Edwards.
scoring the basketball there at the University of Texas as well. Sean East is getting his teammates' mind back in the game. Cell system is trying to make a run. Oh, that's where that length comes in at. Different type of athlete. Good block right there by Edwards. He was able to guard Amos on the screen. He switched. It shows a lot of great versatility for his size. 7-footer that could, oh. Big possession right here.
There you go.
Oh,
Bang.
Amos.
Another three-point field goal, Max Smith out of Texas.
Okay,
See if this momentum can last.
15 with 3 left. Oh, Edwards, swing. Great job, 11 seconds on the shot clock. Media timeout.
We'll take a
We
quick
have a
break with him.
timeout on the floor.
We are back. Oh, Sean East force the action,
Field
gets
pistol foul
fouled.
charge number 3, Max Smith is third.
Gets fouled and back at the free throw
Sean
line.
East from Missouri at the line.
When you're watching some of these smaller guards, Coach, what do you want to see? You know, to make it as a 5'10", 5'11", 6'1" guard, you got to be special. What are some of the qualities you see with the guys that do make it? At that size.
You want to see their burst in being able to get by people and make the defense collapse, or be able to create easy opportunities for themselves and others. Because you're playing against length, you want to be quick and put pressure on the defense. Because on the other end, you play my day, you're going down into the box. We're gonna post you all night. So, good pass, good finish by Edwards. Edwards has great length.
Gets off the ground in a hurry. Doesn't take him long to gather.
That's right. Probably has great measurements as well. Like I said, he was the one that's blocked Edmonds shot
Partnership
earlier,
foul,
probably about 2 minutes ago. He switched on him and guarded him. He went to shoot the three. He was able to get in length, block the shot. So it was quite interesting to watch his agility. He has great agility at that size.
Invaluable to be a guy who can not only protect the rim but can switch out on ball screens and do some different things.
Yes. Yes. Mm. 19-point game.
The foul is charged to partnership number 15, Malawai Leon.
Shot. Okay.
A three-pointer by Max Aisman.
That's that transferable skill right there.
Quick release.
Yes. Don't know if
And basket by NC
Pull
State
up.
DJ Horn.
nice little pull-up by Horn right there. Off right there from Atmos. Just hit a three, came back, heat check. Different type of shot. Saw him do that in college a great deal. He was able to shoot it from deep. It just takes time to get used to the basketball and strength, having the strength to do it consecutively. Floppy action. Oh. Horn again, 15-foot, pull up.
Basket by DJ Horn.
Easy money.
Yep, made that look easy.
It's a simple game sometimes.
It is, all the time, coach. Great, oh. That's not playing with one another right there.
1 minute remaining.
1 minute left in this game. 94-74, 20-point lead by Portsmouth Partnership. Oh. Edwards with his back to the basket. Overshot the rim right there. Bishop pushing the basketball. Oh. Good pump, fake and drive right there. Adams was fouled. Oh. Mr. Pinckney standing to my left. One of the greatest NCAA performances in 1986, was it? When they beat Georgetown?
Max Aisman took the line.
Yep, the most outstanding player. And how you doing, Mr. Pinckney? I'm doing well, doing well. Always great to see you. The most outstanding player in the 1986 NCAA tournament. When Villanova won their first national championship, if I'm not mistaken, with Raleigh Massimino. Beat Georgetown, a Big East championship final. 18-point game, 23 seconds left. Sean East with the drive and kick. And good finish right there by Malawai Leon from Bradley, 6'9". Atmos.
A basket by Max Aisman.
As we wind down here, want to give a big thank you to everyone who tuned in. quick reminder, we'll be right back here at 9 p.m. Eastern approximately for game number 2 tonight. Coach, appreciate you being a part of the broadcast.
Man, thank you guys for having me. It's an awesome job. I really enjoyed it.
All right, we'll catch you all soon. Thank you.
Thank you.